What's up, everybody? Cam and Chris back
Chris
again
and
with another.
Cam.
This time we got Anton Daniels. He is giving his 2 cents on the mother and
Incident
son shooting
in Chicago.
in Chicago at the little spot. I wonder, was it a wing spot?
Maxwell Polish
Oh, it was a Polish spot.
restaurant.
Yeah. So let's see what he think about it.
I don't never get to. I only get to see him with Charleston White, so he's usually just listening. It's by Charleston White.
Right, but no, he be saying his little
So
stuff.
this is gonna be different for me. Hear him do
Right,
this
just
talking.
to hear him give his. Yeah, let's check
Okay.
it out.
All right.
From AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. On my way into the office, it's kind of gloomy outside, but it's not cold. And that's a good thing. I got to catch a flight tomorrow. I'm going to be out in Miami. But I want to give my final thoughts. Hopefully, my final thoughts with regard to this whole woman in Chicago shooting incident situation, which I haven't addressed on this channel. But I addressed it on the Millionaire Morning Show when I did a reaction video to what the news was reporting and the police reports, so on and so forth, right? And here are my thoughts. First, let's get the obvious out of the way. The first thing that we got to get out of the way is that we all know that it was absolutely positively wrong for that man to put his hands on that woman. I think that he's trash. Obviously, he got his justice. There's no point in beating a dead horse with regard to that. We all know that, right? Number two, I think that the boy, the 14-year-old, he's 100% innocent in this whole situation, and that he's a 14-year-old boy, A. B, he just did whatever it was that he seen and reacted to. And that was the difficult part for him because he was forced to make a grown man decision based off of what it is that he's seen his mother put him into, and then reacting to whatever it is that that egregious dude that put his hands on that woman did in the first place. All right?
Yeah, that his mama put him in that situation. I ain't saying that to you.
I don't.
I'm just saying.
I don't know what you mean. She put him in that situation.
By being in there, going back and forth with this dude. But I don't know. Right?
I'm a little torn on that one because I think the mother tried to keep her son out the situation about it when she told him to go get in the car. Now, nobody knows the whole story, of course, but I don't know what else she could have. Yeah, she could have not said something back to this man, but it seemed like from what I saw that it didn't matter what she said or didn't say. This guy was already on 10. Unfortunately, he was already on 10, and she could have said sorry, sir, and he probably still would have hit her. At the point, how he was
when
already.
it got to that point, right?
Yeah. Now,
But
I
how
don't
did it
know.
get to that
We
point?
don't know. I still don't know what started it. I don't know, but I do know she did tell her son to go get in the car. Now,
Some
why
started
was
because
his
somebody was
son?
like, "Oh shoot, let me start
Of
recording."
course,
this.
some started it, but she did tell her son to leave the situation. She did tell him to go get in the car. And at the same time, as this son was probably like, I cannot leave my mother by herself, and yet I don't want to go back in there without some way to defend myself too, because I can't beat this grown man. He's 14. Maybe he didn't think he could just go in there and help his mother. So I don't know if she necessarily put her son in the situation. She put herself in that situation by going back and forth with that man. But I think the son part just kind of I think he was left with
No choice.
no choice at that point once he walked in and saw that man hitting his mama.
That's number two. But number three, it gets a little bit more tricky because this is where people start to get triggered. Because when you start telling the truth and you start being honest about what your thoughts are instead of being politically correct, then that's where it forces us to have a conversation, right? But here's number three. Number three is, this is why it's important to have a man in the home. because you start to look at provision and protection a little bit differently. For me, a lot of people always was saying, or they were saying in the chat, in the comments and stuff like that, they said, well, Anton, what would you do if that was your mother or your daughter or your wife or whatever like that, right? Mm-hmm. My answer is always the same. My wife and my daughter and my mother would never be in that situation in the first place, and that's why we have to start having conversations based off of what having a man in a home looks like and why you cannot have a woman raising a son by herself.
Well,
I mean, in that situation, I don't know how much that applies to that situation.
Well,
because what having a husband at home going to stop
right,
her from going back and forth
at that
with
moment,
that guy, right at that moment.
Because now I said this when I first heard about everything, and I was like, if that was me and Chris, and we pull up to a restaurant, it's 11 o'clock at night, area not too good, people in there look a little suspect, I'm gonna put myself, I'm gonna go in, right?
11 o'clock at night.
11 o'clock at night. Chris, stay in the car, right? That would be me. You stay in the car, I'm gonna go in, because I feel like I may be able to get in there and out, get in and out without a situation, a confrontation with anybody. Because just because he's a boy going in a place that I feel may be unsafe, they may say something to him just out the blue. They may challenge him out the blue because he's a male, right? This guy, another guy.
Yeah.
And I would figure, they probably ain't gonna say nothing to me too much. I'm gonna go run in and take my chances. And I would do the same with you. I'm like, I got this. You just keep the car running. I'm gonna run in, pick up the food, and come back out. Now, if I'm in there, something do happen, some start to go off, I'm not gonna call you and say, come in here and handle this. I still wouldn't put you in that I would not purposely put you in that situation. I wouldn't call you and tell you you're coming there. To me, that would be the most dangerous decision, is to bring another male into situation, because I would think this man is not going to
back down.
Yeah, I would think he would with me. I would think he would be like, I'm not gonna hit this woman. She could talk. We arguing back and forth, but I ain't gonna hit this lady. She leaving, I'm leaving, whatever. But I think with a guy, he may be quicker to think it's okay to fight.
No,
you get what I'm saying? 9
out of 10,
that's
if
how
it's
I
two
think.
guys, it's not
That's
gonna get to that point.
Be.
It ain't gonna get to that point because most people don't want to have a fight.
I know.
They want to talk to somebody that they
still think. That's why I'm thinking this man wouldn't put his hands on me, because I'm like, right, he not. Why would he want to fight me? Because then he may have to fight another. Then he got to fight a man to me, right? Yeah. So I'm like, so they not gonna say nothing to me. They gonna say what they gonna say, maybe little smarts, but they gonna say it. We gonna move on. I'm gonna leave. We all good. But for whatever reason, this guy felt like he had to put his hands on her. I just don't.
I think a guy fight a woman first before you fight another guy.
Yeah, you may be right.
I'm saying you don't see people really that don't know each other just
but and that's why
because you don't know that person.
Me as a woman and this man going back and forth, I could probably avoid the physical part.
Yeah.
So that's why I would be the one that go in.
You can avoid the physical part as long as y'all ain't in there going back and forth.
No, I mean, even I think I've ended. I know when because I don't want this man. Maybe that may be on me. I'm not gonna go that far with this man because I don't want to get to that level. For me, because I know more than likely I probably can't beat this man. Second, I don't want you to have to come in there and have to get in the middle of this, or Chris have to come in there and get in the middle of this. So now I'm gonna have to, as the woman, I gotta know when to cut it off. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm not saying she didn't know when to cut it off. It seemed like she didn't even. I think this particular man, it wouldn't have mattered.
Because you don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened in the beginning. But at the point when he was like, say something else, she was like, go get in the car. He was like, he said something. When she said, just tell her son to go get in the car, he snapped.
If two men standing there and say one more thing, I'm gonna hit you in the face. Usually you're gonna start backing up.
She had nowhere to back up.
Getting ready to fight. You gonna go away from the guy.
Well,
whatever.
she was
Go
just
the opposite way.
yeah. Well, she was waiting
So
on her food.
if he is finna hit you, he
You're
can't
right.
reach you. Get
I
out his
would've-
reach.
That's what I just
Especially if
said.
you gonna keep talking.
Maybe she didn't think it was gonna go that route. You just figured this man not gonna hit me. This man don't know me from can of paint.
He clearly
not
telling
gonna
you
hit
he's
me.
finna hit you.
Yeah, people say that all the time. I do this, I do that.
No, people don't say
They
that.
don't really
Not
do
to your
it.
face, they ain't saying that. Not while y'all arguing. No.
Okay.
Somebody telling you they finna hit you in the face, you need to respect that. Step back or
I hear
put your
you.
hands up. Get ready to fight.
Get ready, but that's why I said I would have known when to. Let's end it. It's time for me to let me go back to the car. I'm gonna wait. Go back in the car. Wait for my food. Let him leave. Whatever. But I don't know if it got to that point to where it hit her in that way for her to say, I got to get out of this situation.
She was standing her ground and she wasn't gonna back down.
Okay, let's see.
Even if she wasn't saying nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But you back up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I don't know her situation. I can't speak to it specifically, but I just have to go based off of the optics and what it is that I have to see people having conversations about what a woman can do and raising these men and all of this other type of stuff, right? And my point is this. My wife wouldn't be out at 11, 12 o'clock at night going to get food from a hot spot, night spot, and then having a kid in a car as a result of it.
Right.
Being forced to be making grown man decisions.
Right.
My daughter wouldn't be out at that late at night picking up fruit from the hot spot.
Right.
My mother wouldn't be out that late doing that nonsense either. My wife and my daughter know not to even have a conversation or to go back and forth with a grown man at all. And the question that we're not asking ourselves is, what was the conversation in the first place? And again, it doesn't excuse bad behavior. It doesn't excuse him from putting his hands on her. But how come we not having a conversation in its entirety and we only going based off of this small clip?
Right.
Number 4, and this is the most important part, and this is the part that people really don't want to have a conversation about. When we start to compare and we start to have conversations and we say, man, them charges was dropped fast. And we see all of the social media outcry and support and people saying what should have happened and what would have happened if this person or that person and all of this other type of stuff. When we see this stuff happen to women, even though we advocated for equal, even though the laws and the justice system is supposed to say, oh, okay, we look at each individual situation and we play it out the way to play it out. I'm not saying that she should be convicted or any of that other type of stuff. But what I am saying is that this is a clear sign that there is a gender war and there is an agenda, especially against men, based off of A, the court of public opinion, which is mob, which is Rome, and then B, what it is that we see advocated for every single day. No way in the world that those charges would have been dropped that fast against a man. Not even a little bit. No way in the world would the charges ever been.
What you think?
What the charges for the boy? Because he's a male. They still dropped the charges for him. Which charge are we talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, her charges.
If it was 2 guys.
If
I don't know, maybe he's gonna explain.
Yeah,
it a little
explain.
more.
I don't know if you saying if it was 2 men in there arguing, and then the son came in and shot somebody, or if the 2 men was arguing.
If it was his father and a man,
like what? Like
and
what
his
are we
father
saying?
getting punched, and then he come in and shoot.
And he shoots, or the man was in there fighting and then pulled the gun and shot. I'm trying to see which. I don't understand.
I don't know, cause you remember that guy who knocked down that white guy outside that store. And then the white guy pulled out a gun and shot him. What was that? He got charged?
No, that was self-defense, wasn't it? Oh, the white guy. Did he get charged? Yeah, I think he ended up getting charged. I think he ended up getting charged because that was he caused the whole.
Yeah,
well,
but the dude hit him first.
The dude hit him first. Well, this was okay.
He got charged because after he shot him, the dude retreated.
He did. So he got charged because, again, it was a woman arguing with a man. His girlfriend was out there arguing with the guy over handicapped parking spot. And she gets out the car to go back and forth with the man. And then he comes out the store like, right, what are you doing? He pushed him off from in front of her or whatever, right? That's what happened. And then when the guy fell, he pulled his gun and shot him. But he was running it back into the store.
When he pulled the gun out, he started backing up.
But yeah, he still.
And you can't. Once you start retreating, you're not supposed to get shot.
Yeah, but so he did get charged. Yeah.
Been dropped that fast against the man. It just doesn't happen. We seen what happened with Travis Rudolph. Nobody had anything to say, even after he was found innocent. All of these women, all of these hyenas, all of this social media outcry and support, none of that was there for Travis Rudolph. Not during, not before, not after. Nobody advocated for the charges to be dropped against him, even though he had to defend himself and it was a woman that basically enabled everybody to crash out. But we see how things play out when it comes to men. Men, you are at the bottom of the totem pole. You are behind the 8 ball. Don't think for even 1 second while all of these simps is out here saying, oh man, we seen political activists. We seen groups start to come out and mobilize on her behalf. That does not happen. You will never see charges get dropped this fast. Listen, we know that prosecutors, at least where I'm from, prosecutors and the people that are holding these offices that then determine the charges are voted on by the people, which means that they're incentivized to do the thing that's in their own best interest also, while they're doing things in the interest supposedly for the best of the people. It's all a game. It's all one big game. And if you think for 1 second that this is what you would call justice, I would invite you to have a deeper conversation, do a deeper dive, and understand that as a man, what it is that you're facing, because we can use this as an example and compare it to everything else that's going on around us, all of the other cases, including the Travis Rudolph, and that nobody gave any fuck about Travis Rudolph. And they was saying, throw him up under the jail. He shouldn't have been shooting at them dudes in the first place and all of this other stuff. When we was having this conversation about Travis Rudolph, before he even got convicted, I seen women saying that, oh, wait a minute. Them dudes, listen, it's not self-defense anymore if he doing this and he shooting. Now it's a completely different conversation. And you want to know why? Because it's a different type of person that got something different in between their legs. And it's a lot of people out here that are biased. They can't look at it as equal. Men will never, ever have that level of support. And we know for a fact that people are biased when it comes to, and they don't protect men. And this is one of the situations and the problems that we see in our society.
What?
I don't think these charges were dropped because of her. I think they were more dropped because of the son.
I think these charges were dropped because of the guy hit her 3 times.
Well, yeah, and the son,
if he would have never,
son was.
No, I just think even if he hit her 1 time, I think the charges wouldn't have got dropped. But the fact that he hit her 3 times,
and probably would have hit her again.
Then I think that's what. Because it ain't like it was a hit to leave me alone. It was
an attack.
Right, so
I think he would hit her again if the son didn't shoot him. I don't think the charges were dropped because she's a one. I think people felt sorry for the son. They were like, this boy was put in a situation where he reacted. He was protecting his mother. I don't think it had anything to do with her being a woman. I believe it was more of him being a boy. So he's saying this about black men, but I
the
think
charges was on both of them. Right?
Yes, but to drop it on him. You gotta drop it, or to drop it on her, you should drop it on him because he was protecting her. She was the one in the situation. Like I agree, she shouldn't have. As a woman, the decision she made that day, that night, you in the place, 11 at night, you in this. Of course, all that could have been maybe one of the best decisions, what choices that she made that night. with her 14-year-old son. That's why I just said if I was in a situation with my son, I'd be like, if we gonna do this, I'm gonna be the one. I'm gonna put myself out there like that. That would be me. But again, like he just said, should she have been out there? She shouldn't have been out there. You know, as a woman,
nobody should be out there.
Well, nobody should be out there. But her and her son, let's just say they coming home from somewhere and it's like, oh, we gotta pick up something to eat, and we make this last minute decision. I'm gonna be the one that got the car. I'm gonna be the one to go in the restaurant. I'm gonna be the one that put myself out there. But that's why I think the charges would drop, because of him being a boy who was protecting his mother, not because she's a woman with something between her legs. That I don't agree with that.
I think the charges would drop because the guy hit her multiple times.
But they knew that when they first charged him. That's what I'm saying. They knew that.
But you could charge somebody, but dropping them after,
right? But
because you charge them at first, because you ain't got all the evidence yet.
Right, but I'm still saying.
So once you go through it and you say he hit, and then it wasn't like go get the gun and shoot him like you heard
somebody without knowing what happened. But to charge them with murder, that means you thought somebody thought but you arrested them.
When you arrested them on some charges.
Yeah, but you said they take them in there and they be like, oh, now we charging you. They didn't question you, like, now we charging you.
But if they arrested you, they arrested you for a reason, and that's murder.
They arrested him for him being shot, for him being killed. Yes,
that's called murder.
But I'm saying, but no, your charges are based upon the end results of the investigation. Now, so that's what happened. You get arrested.
You get charged first, then the investigation.
No, they got to find out what happened. They like what happened. They shot him. Who shot him? Okay, we're gonna arrest him. Now you go in there and they like, oh, y'all shot this man in his back. Charge murder. If I think when they realized the whole situation,
we both could be right. You know that.
Right. I'm just still saying. I think the charges were dropped because because of him, not because of her. Because like they might have been looking at it going and saying, why are you in there arguing with this man? You in there going back and forth with this man, and he hit you, and then y'all decide, oh, now you told your son to get the gun and shoot him. Y'all right. That's how the story was at first.
Yeah.
But turns out, according to the news story, she did not tell the son to go get the gun. The son he simply made a decision to go back in there and protect his mother. That's why I think the charges got dropped, because of him.
But what if she was saying go to the car and that he knew that meant go get the gun?
Yeah, but that still didn't mean she wanted him to shoot him. She could have been like, go get my gun for me. Go get me my gun.
It doesn't matter who shot him.
It does. And that's why the charges got dropped.
No, I'm saying.
That's why charges got dropped.
But think about it. If you're going to charge somebody, you might be like, she fully intended to shoot this man. That's why she wanted him to get the gun. Whether he shoot him or she should be
charged. No, she wanted to shoot him. Now that may be the truth. I probably would wanted to shoot. He punched me in my head, or he in there arguing like that. Then he punched me there. I may want to shoot him. That's what I'm saying. I don't think she intended for the son to be the one that pulled the trigger. I think even if she did signal for him to go get the gun, I think it was supposed to get brought back to her. But when he walked in, this man's already in the middle of punching his mom in the head. What is he supposed to do?
I want to know how it all started.
Get in the middle of him and hand her the gun? No, by this time she punched up. He pulled the trigger. That's why I think the charges got dropped, not because she's a woman. But okay, we be going on now. Let's finish.
Instead of us having a conversation on why that young boy was even in that position in the first place, instead of us having a conversation about being proactive as a community so you don't put yourself in that position in the first place, instead of us having a conversation about all of the other things around it also, we like to just go and push our agendas, which forces us to not have the conversation in its entirety. And it's horrible. It's bad. It's unfortunate. But hopefully those are my final thoughts. Unless something else comes out about it and you guys can't stop talking about it, then we'll revisit this conversation again. But hopefully, like everything else, this goes away. And the next story will be here. And then we'll be talking about the next guy and the next woman. And we'll be observing an injustice culturally. And we'll see exactly what you guys are saying going forward. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later.
Yeah.
It's going to be, of course, this is going to go away. It's gonna be another situation. We all know that.
I hope she don't be out there doing all kind of interviews.
Oh well, that's already gonna happen. She's already on social media, asking Nicki Minaj to go ahead and fund his his college tuition. Now some stuff I'd be like, wait a minute. See, now you going, we just went from you on the news saying, please leave me and my family alone. We need time to heal. And now it's the next day and you on social media talking to Nicki. I see some stuff I don't like about these things.
Yeah.
However,
but some people they feel like, look, I'm finna ride this way.
Of course.
Give me a
you
little
gonna
money.
take your 15 minutes of fame and you gonna run with it.
Nowadays, that 15 minutes of fame could make you some good money.
Because
you do a GoFundMe, a million people see it, and they just give $1.
There's gonna be so many people.
You got $1 million.
There's gonna be so many people interested in this story. That boy, again, I think it's because of the boy. Not because she was in there arguing with this man, not because that man hit her. Believe me, that happened all day, every day.
Everybody happy that the boy did it.
Right. That happens a woman getting punched by a man in public happens all day, or attacked by a man in public happens all day, every day. Nobody, you don't think that's true? Yeah. It happens. It does.
Happens. It definitely
and you
happens.
and the only thing that was different about this is that the 14-year-old son, because if he was 20, no. If he was an adult man who did that, the story wouldn't be this big. It's because he's 14. It's because he's a boy. It turns out he's a good kid. He was an honor student. He's not out there in the streets. Because of that, that's why he ended up. This went like, that's why he had so many people advocating for him, because they felt like he was put in a situation that he had no control over. He was protecting his mother. Now, is she wrong in some ways? Yeah, of course. Like I said, she made the decision right at the beginning. Stay in the car. You stay in the car. But then, right, she put herself in a situation that then put her son in a situation that he could not avoid at the end. But the story gonna fade away after a couple of weeks. So now she's suing the city. So we'll hear about this again. We'll hear about it some more, but
they're gonna put them charges back on. She's gonna be like, well, I was just playing. They're gonna be like, you know what? We're gonna reopen this investigation since you want to sue the city.
His family wanted him to get some attention and some stuff to happen too, because they felt like, well, he had a family too, and they took him from his family. So that it's some more stuff going on with this whole thing, believe me. But anyway.
But thank y'all for watching. That was Anton Daniels. I love to hear his takes, because he don't be sugarcoating.
Oh no, he doesn't. He ain't sugarcoating.
Agreeing with what he be saying, so it's good to see.
I don't know. Did you agree with most of what he said?
Yeah, I agree with everything he said.
Well, there you go.
I don't think the old boy should have died.
I don't.
But
I agree. Like I said, in some part when he said, "Do I think a woman should be trying to raise a man?" Part about should she have put her? You ain't got a choice. Should she have put the son in that? Should they have been out? That was a choice. Maybe they could have avoided a decision. They could have just not. Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't think charges would drop because she's a woman. Because what she got between, I don't agree with that part. Anyway, thank y'all.
Y'all like the video?
Please.